MIMS, what's going on?
What's up? What's up?
How are you? Thank you for joining me.
I'm doing right. Thank you for having me.
Of course. All right, your single, This Is Why I'm Hot. Did you expect it to blow up the way it has?
Coming into it with an ego that every artist should carry. I think when you go into writing a record, you should always expect it to be the #1 record.
Absolutely, be confident.
Definitely. So I'm definitely confident, but to be able to actually reach that goal is incredible. It's definitely undescribable. I mean, I could sit here and make up a bunch of adjectives and words that could describe it. I'd probably be cutting myself short. So
it's just been unbelievable.
It's a blessing.
Yeah,
a blessing,
absolutely.
Definitely.
Incredible ride. Now, when you were young, you definitely had some struggles to overcome. You lost both your parents by the time you were 13. Now, how did that experience influence your music?
Well, obviously the name of my album is called Music Is My Savior, and you know, it was just that for me. I mean, you know, for me growing up, I grew up in a single-parent home. I was raised by my mother, and then my father passed away when I was 11, and eventually my mother would go on to pass away when I was 13. She passed away after giving birth to my sister a couple weeks later. And you know, coming from a neighborhood that I grew up in, Washington Heights, New York, it probably could have been easy to be subjected to turn into a negative lifestyle.
Sure.
But instead, because I was introduced to music around the same time, I had something to kind of focus my energy to, and that is ultimately what kept me out of trouble.
So you turned a negative into a positive.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
And I heard your mom was inspirational in getting you started because you became a DJ when you were
13.
Like 13.
Yeah, she actually bought me some turntable equipment. She bought me 2 turntables and a mixer. And for all the DJs out there, I didn't have 1200s. Those are like the fancy turntables. I had the belt drive turntables, and I couldn't scratch. I couldn't do anything with it. But honestly, it still was influential in my career because it allowed me to really kind of visit hip-hop and learn more about hip-hop, and that's how I really got involved with it.
So you made do with what you had, and look at you now.
Yeah, I made do with what I had.
Absolutely. So let me ask you, who are your musical influences?
You know what? I think musically, I could have probably gotten influenced by anybody.
Sure.
But the truth of the matter is that I take influence from all situations. Like you said, I turn negative situations into positive situations. So I really feel like I got influence from anybody around me, whether it be my mailman or whether it be, you know,
I like that.
the grocery store person. But if I had to name a few of the musical influences without naming a whole list, obviously I grew up on the era of the Nas's, the Biggies, the Jay-Z's, the Tupacs. But one dude I think I took a liking to as far as the musical style was Slick Rick the Ruler, because he had that swagger, that natural swagger and storytelling ability from early in the game, and I think a lot of people kind of got their style based upon him.
Okay, so he was an inspiration for you. You mentioned Nas. Can I just ask, do people say that you look like him?
You know what, I got that when I was younger. I haven't really gotten much of it lately, but you know, a couple people say, oh, you remind me of Nas. So, yeah.
Well, I liked it because you were saying before that you always give respect to like the West Coast and Chicago and the South, and it's just like, I mean, you're from New York, but sometimes people like listen to your music, they're like, where are you from? Because you incorporate so much.
Oh, you know, I think it's important when you go into making records that you don't want to build an identity that's attached to an area, because then you're limiting yourself.
Absolutely,
For me,
I agree
you know,
with that.
I like creating music that everybody can enjoy, and you know, the fact of the matter is that West Coast has a certain sound, Midwest has a certain sound, down South has a certain sound, and I want to be able to have my music appeal to each and every audience, not just necessarily New York City.
Now, you said this was an open set for this video, and it was shot in Washington Heights, and like hundreds of people came out. What was that experience like?
You know what? I think it could have easily been an experience that turned bad because there were so many people out there that came out to support, but for the most part, there was no violence. Everybody came out to just really kind of get in the video, and I wish I could have showcased as many people that were out there that wanted to get in it, but it was just, you know, I had a headache that day. So,
I bet.
I didn't want to deal with it, but you know, it was incredible. Like, just to be able to bring a video to Washington Heights, to my neighborhood, too, in front of the building that I grew up in front of.
And you got your friends, your fans, everybody came out to support you. That has to feel good. And the Mets star, Jose Reyes, when he goes up to bat, his song is This Is Why I'm Hot.
Yeah.
So how does that make you feel? Because I always think that, you know, players got to choose their own songs. So for him to like, I mean, that's
you know what I think the record is just it just built so much confidence in somebody, and I could just imagine, because some people have told me they use it to work out. I've heard basketball players, boxers come out to it. And I think it's just a motivational song. And I think sometimes when you listen to music, it actually charges you up and gives you that energy.
Absolutely, it riles you up. There's a lot of energy with it.
I'm not opposed to it. So let's see how many home runs he hits this year.
Let's see.
Let's go.